what started as a misunderstanding and a feud over a woman led to crews being involved in what was originally a fist fight. The loser of that fist fight's friend hopped out their car and shot in the crowd. That was Lil Tim protecting Quando Rondo, who was getting beat up by King Von. There was undercover police in that parking lot who shot Von as well, and his manager and other friends. People like Charleston White like calling Little Tim names like the Demon Slayer. But the reason Little Tim was not charged for that murder, because the police knew that they were the ones who killed Vaughn that night. That didn't stop the public or people in the comment section to constantly, every time Lil Durk was brought up, comment, slide for Vaughn, slide for Vaughn, slide for Vaughn. And then months after that first situation happened, Quando Rondo, while in Los Angeles, California, had his Escalade shot up, which resulted in the death of his friend, Lil Pab. Durk will go on to mock Quando Rondo, even sampling Quando's grief-filled screams in his songs.
The ending of a shooting that started in Beverly Grove. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening.
Now, according to the feds, the men who was involved in that shooting of Lil Pab, their flights and rental cars were booked with the OTF business card. How silly can everyone be? But even while trying to be careful, Lil Durk couldn't have guessed that someone that did 12 years would come out of prison and wear a wire while being around him and his friends. That's OTF Jam. Durk rapped about him saying, when Jam get out that jam, I had 50,000 for him. He don't even gotta ask for it.
12 years flat.
12 years?
Like 12 years. Did my time. Ain't told him nobody.
Right.
Ain't no food shit on my name. Now I'm back. And I'm living a life I never thought I'd live. You know?
That's it. Yeah, but like, if you can't talk about it, like, why did you have to sit down for 12?
I went to jail for attempt.
Okay.
Attempt murder. It was more than that, but shit, that's what I did my time for.
50,000 as soon as you come out of prison is a great thing. But if he would have worked at McDonald's for 12 years, he would have made more money. He got paid $4,167 a year for 12 years in prison. That was paid in full once he was home. But clearly the feds were paying more since he decided to wear that wire. If you're a multi-millionaire, rapping songs, shouting out your friends that are in prison, and when they come home, you give them 50 grand, maybe 50 grand from zero is a lot of money. But after 12 years, 50 grand may as well be zero. It's not like it was 50 grand per year. Then that may be a different story. But that wasn't the case here. But last night, while DJ Academics was live streaming, Academics was reviewing the information the feds have put out regarding the first OTF guys that were arrested yesterday. But Wack 100 said something was about to happen, not as big as Diddy, but something close. What he was trying to say without being specific was that Durk was about to get arrested. And Chicago Tribune reporter Jason Meisner was on Twitter and in the courtroom when everything was going down. He even says after the first group of OTF guys got arrested, Lil Durk had plans to flee the country and head to Italy, which seems to be the reason why the FBI decided to clamp down the time that they did, which is only a week after Lil Durk got keys to the city. Not just one key, but two keys to the city. Two different towns. So last night, before Academics talked to Wack on the stream, Jason Meisner tweeted, the feds allege that after King Von's slaying, an unnamed co-conspirator who is a part of OTF offered money and, quote, lucrative music opportunities to anyone who would kill Georgia-based rapper Quando Rondo. So it wasn't just money, it was music opportunities. That's something rappers talk about in their raps, but we've never seen it actually play out like this. We're not saying this is true, this is just what the feds allege, according to Jason Meisner of the Chicago Tribune. And then he will post, Chicago rapper Lil Durk under arrest in Florida, charged in murder for hire plot, according to court records. And when I say Jason Meisner is that guy, he's the man on the ground. He would post, I was the only reporter in the Chicago courtroom Thursday when 5 associates of Durk's Only the Family were brought in. Prosecutors said the charges carry a maximum of death. if convicted, and a mandatory minimum of 30 years. There's an identify hearing for one defendant today. All of that was the buildup for when he would post the actual indictment. Breaking: Chicago rapper Lil Durk charged in a federal criminal complaint with arranging a murder for hire plot against a rival in California, allegedly to avenge the slaying of King Von. The charges were filed after Lil Durk was apparently about to flee the country. After 5 of his associates were arrested in Chicago early Thursday morning, Lil Durk allegedly flew to Fort Lauderdale and booked international travel to Dubai as well as Switzerland, but he didn't get on either flight. Instead, feds say he was listed on a private jet to Italy. Wow. So as soon as the first couple guys got arrested, he flew to Fort Lauderdale, booked flights to Dubai and Switzerland to be shown as he's going out of the country, and then was about to sneakily leave on a private jet to Italy, which is actually a pretty good move. He should have left as soon as he got the keys to the city. That was just a sign that something was about to go down. We didn't know it at the time, but they definitely did. So much so that the mayor of Broadview, Illinois, has taken away Durk's key to the city and terminated the city's partnership with his foundation, Neighborhood Heroes, after his arrest. She would write in a statement, "While the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion of residents has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior." So they have standards higher than the law? I don't know if that's true in Chicago, and our public partners must also reflect the same uncompromising standards demanded by our residents. Given the news that Lil Durk Banks, has been arrested in Florida and charged with murder for hire, the village of Broadview is withdrawing our honorary key to the village, granted to Durk, and is terminating our partnership agreement with his youth organization, Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. As mayor, protecting Broadview's interest and upholding the values of residents is job number 1. So all of that seems to be for no reason. But Jason Meisner would not stop posting. Chicago rapper Lil Durk plans to take a private jet to Italy after his associates were arrested in a murder for hire plot, the feds say. Now Durk is in custody in Florida, charged with putting, quote, a monetary bounty out for the killing of a rival. And if you thought this was all just gonna be a simple thing, in Banks' charging documents, federal investigators say, quote, witnesses and or their family members have already received threats and or have been contacted in what appear to be attempts to influence their participation in this investigation. So as soon as the first O-Block guys got arrested, Lil Durk tried to flee the country, and the families of the people arrested were already getting calls and emails and texts, which means Durk is not getting any bail, no matter how rich he is. He tried to flee the country, and the feds say families and friends are being threatened already. This is not gonna be a ridiculous, joke-filled circus like the YSL trial is in Atlanta. California is gonna try to make an example out of Lil Durk, especially for being an out-of-towner. But this is the result of that life. At least he tried to flee. Some other people didn't even try to flee. Should they have all just gone on the run together? The guys who went first shouldn't have never gone back to Chicago. They should have driven down to Mexico and linked with the cartel and go against the US government fully. Because now what? Plead innocence? I don't know. But do you think we'll see Durk out of prison sometime within the next 20 years? Let me know in the comment section. Peace.